Hello!
Hello there.
Hello, and welcome to Black Dragon Roleplay, where we are not professional voice actors, we are not gaming gods, we are just a group of friends that have been brought together through the love of story who want to share our tabletop adventures with all of you. A few things before we start our session proper. We want to continue to grow a community that is into the stories that we tell every week. One of the best tools for feedback for us is our Discord. If you've already followed us and want to take the next step, jump into our Discord. We have a weekly recaps to catch you up on what's happened the previous week, which we're actually kind of behind on. So we'll make sure that it gets updated. We have memes. We've added a movie channel that I'm going to be posting movies that I watch and give a very slight description and recommendation list of movies. Lots of things happening on the Discord, so jump in there. Join us, support us if you can in that way. If you can't always join us live here on Twitch, which is our primary streaming platform, join us on YouTube. We post all of the videos that we make here on our Twitch. We eventually post them on our YouTube channel. Every week we post our campaign sessions to our YouTube channel. Black Dragon RP on YouTube is where you can find all of that content. Go ahead, hit that like button, and please go and like it for us. See, no joke this week on that. But that's because, before we go any further, I have something I need to make public. Out of risk of my own embarrassment, I've not told the rest of the dragons, so I do hope they allow me this very public forum to explain something very personal, and something I feel kind of affects the show. So, you may have seen us trend on Twitter this week. I have a prepared statement. We at Black Dragon Roleplay, myself, Monocle Moose, feel the need to make a very public apology. Last week, anyone who watched was probably horrified and disappointed with a very public statement that was made that turned out to be, at best, untruthful and at worst, hurtful and offensive. We at Black Dragon Roleplay have high expectations of ourselves, our comments, and our production, and we're very sorry for the comment that we made, and the heartbreak and the anxiety that we caused anyone who was deceived by our blatant lie. We are sorry because, as our fans, we hurt the most. Changes are being made internally to ensure the highest ethical standards going forward. We're currently looking for, expect going forward that we will do better. Of course, this is about the statement that I made last week that out of all my social media links, MySpace was my primary and form of communication. At the time, I had no MySpace account. For that, I'm very sorry. I do wish to let everyone know that I attempted to rectify it and say, by creating a myspace.com/monocle.moose is live currently. You can go there and check that out now.
Oh, God.
What?
Yeah.
So you're taking up a music. You're taking up a music career,
But actually, finding out that I could no longer be friends with Tom, I was disheartened and gave up posting to the platform. So I now, again, no longer have my MySpace. It's there. You can check it out if you'd like to.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ! I actually thought we were in trouble there for a second. I was trying to write my brain like, what did we say? What did we say?
I was rereading that when I was preparing again this evening, and I was like, there's a 50-50 shot this goes badly, but I'm glad you guys are laughing. Thank you for the support during this challenging time, and we hope for those who follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel will not be disappointed in us in the future.
Scared the hell out of me.
I
was racking my brain.
Like, what did you say?
Yeah. Did you say something? What? You didn't say anything offensive.
And then I thought
we always say something offensive, but
yeah, exactly.
nothing that we want to apologize for.
I mean, to a point where we would have to apologize publicly.
Like, I thought that maybe my jokes were a little too far. Like, did I say something awful? Like, what?
Guys,
Moose!
That was great.
You know what I was thinking what Moose was going to apologize for?
What?
It was that horrible, outdated meme. What? The Numa.
He's apologizing he's apologizing for a horribly outdated social media platform.
Yeah, but apparently you subverted expectations as per usual. Props to your writing, Moose.
Lovely.
Anyways.
Without further ado, we'll go into our recap. As we started last week, and I did listen to our replay today, and I'm going to do my best not to say every time I stop talking, so catch me on that if you do.
Or hit your desk.
Yeah, I know. Last week, we started our session first with the females of the group, making their way to the Ugly Duckling after the ritual and after everything that had happened in Whis' library. The girls, our female characters, Saoirse and Camille, make their way to the Ugly Duckling. They have a dinner and a bath, and they are also met with new information talking about Guy Volkerson, the Sergeant Master of the Numer Division, talking to Captain Humpner, which is the owner of the establishment, as well as the captain of Numer and captain of the Crown's Guard there. We also find out that Captain Numer is talking to a woman, Bialia, and is... See him doing it again, damn it. Bialia, who is... calls... They have a special connection. You see them touching hands and calling each other names. Lovely names, not bad names. And an interesting development there. The girls try to get a little bit more information from the waiter, but don't get very much. The boys, the men of the group, Branimir and Boltzmann, continue to stay with Whis and continue to kind of develop a plan to be able to try to catch Tannenbaum. They go over the spells that Whis has available. They talk about strategies and different things of that nature. Branimir is also able to cook and is able to prepare a meal, and does so working towards his proficiency in that manner. Branimir gets a message from Lady Legura while preparing his meal, and finds out that the traders that were expected at Volk's Point never showed, but there was also found 3 more corrupted owlbears, as well as the temple tiles that had been removed are now back in place. So everything seems to be adjusting and brings up questions in the minds of Branimir and Boltzmann. Dante goes to the Manticore's den, and after a little bit of carousing and mingling, finds a group of mercenaries with a bottle that looks very familiar, a potion of red liquid, viscous red liquid, that looks identical to what was given to Boltzmann a long while ago. After a brief discussion with John Rowe, the wizard of the group, Dante comes to the idea that Tannenbaum is fleeing the town and has already made its way and is now currently walking northwest direction out of town, trying to find people that he can bring with him or to help him along his journey, similar to the way that the group was helping him before. After a long discussion of what the best plan would be, after meeting back together at Whis' library, the group decides to first go and try to track Tannenbaum, and then if that does not work, that they would continue on and try to find out where he would be going, maybe towards the northwest, maybe in Volk's Point, and see if maybe in Bloomer Spring, where some of the beings had already turned, to see if they could find any leads in that area. During the night, debating whether or not to use the Tome of Joy, Boltzmann has a dream where he sees the house of Ironweaver and has murderous thoughts throughout his dream about what he would like to do and what has been taken from him, giving him the idea that maybe he is not the one to use the Tome of Joy. The team wakes up in the morning and goes off chasing Tannenbaum towards the northwest. A very good survival check from Saoirse allows them to be able to identify that he is probably by himself and in continuing in a northwestern direction. They follow his trail and they find a spot where in the very distance, another 300 feet away, they see Tannenbaum sitting underneath a tree. The plan is to cast Mind Blank on Dante so that he is undetectable to the Mind Flayer, who he is able to sneak up on. And when he gets within range, sees that the image of Tannenbaum is an illusion, and then the actual Tannenbaum is invisible and across the river, which Dante is able to cross and sneak up behind and attack first, catching the Illithid off guard. After a battle and a race to be able to get to him and be able to knock him out, the team eventually is able to knock him unconscious by a whack from the beaming blade of Camiel. And that is where we are now. Weiss has taken a minute to be able to cast imprisonment, so these large chains have sprouted from the earth and have magically appeared, holding the lifeless, not the unconscious body of Tannenbaum, who was there and now restrained in a very magical way. So that is where we're at. You guys are next to a river, next to the riverbank. You see these chains come up and kind of restrain the body of the Mind Flayer. He is able to be awoken, but he is not awake at this very moment. What are you guys doing?
I think Bran will continue his trek along the road, seeing that the situation has been diffused, and that Camiel and Dante and the rest are sort of merging towards where the Mind Flayer, the unconscious Mind Flayer, is, its location. I think Bran will just patrol the road.
So you're gonna be holding a lookout position on the road.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Oh boy.
First roll of the night.
Haha, perception.
You can do it.
Oh, that's advantage. Sorry, just disregard that.
We'll take the
that's
first
a
one.
4.
We'll take a 4. Okay. Okay. Good to know. As everyone else kind of ascends onto this location where this Mind Flayer has been held, what's everybody else doing?
Dante's going to go pick up his stuff. He left his hat and various things back across the river, so he's going to go do that.
Okay.
And then as he does that, though, he was sort of... it's probably a good idea if we keep a lookout, just in case any of those silent unseen appear. And hopefully we won't be caught off guard. And he'll...
Yeah, Saoirse would have agreed if Dante did suggest that to everyone. She would have started looking for any tracks, anything to indicate that Tannenbaum wasn't alone, and that maybe there was somebody else kind of watching over him or getting ready to surprise us.
If Bran is on the other side of the road, I will have Dante. You can roll a perception since that's what you said you wanted to do.
Yep.
And then Saoirse roll a survival check to see if you can find any prints or anything that points to more than just Tannenbaum being by himself.
Okay, and that would be that'd be an additional +3, so an 11 because of the double proficiency for being in a forest.
Okay. Dante, you take a look around. You do not see anything that sticks out. You see that there's simply the river and the trees that are around you. Everything that you saw before. You do not see any other beasts. You do not see anything that looks like it could be hiding. Your true sight still lasts for a minute, so you would still have that up. So you look around and you still do not see anything around you.
Yep.
Saoirse, as you kind of look around the ground and looking for tracks, with that roll, there's nothing that you see as obviously something that seems to be near. You've seen the undead tracks, the silent unseen tracks, so you know what you're looking for, but you do not see anything that looks like that's like this area has been disturbed too much in the recent. It looks like just a Tannenbaum at this point.
Yeah, and then once he does that, Dante will make his way back, taking his time just across the stones, across the river, just to make sure he doesn't get his gun wet or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking to himself, he really needs his own bag of holding to stuff this damn thing in, so he can do stuff like this without leaving precious weapons behind. Yeah, and just make his way back to the group.
Okay.
Boltzmann would accompany Weiss, and wherever I would imagine that Weiss would also make his way across the river.
Yeah,
and
Weiss would continue and kind of stand. He had to get within 30 feet of him to cast imprisonment, so he'd be standing there.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I'd just be with Weiss and ready to assist him with whatever magic he may do.
It is important to collect information from him. Who will be leading this information expedition?
Boltzmann would look to Dante.
Dante's sort of taken up an outward sentry position while everyone's around, and if Boltzmann gets his attention, he sort of looks back and, I mean, what exactly are we talking here? Do you just want to ask questions? He sort of looks at the group.
Well, you're the smooth talker here, and I guess, hopefully, if we ask, he's just going to give it to us. No, advanced interrogation techniques needed, hopefully.
Anything that we could find about the Black Hive. Anything that we could find about its connection with other groups. That would be the key. Information. Agreed.
Agreed. I particularly would like to know whether they are in cahoots or have any interaction with the Raven goddess and all that mess that we've seen. I think it's a good idea for us to do that. Anybody else with suggestions? Come out.
I think you're muted, Cam.
Oh.
She'll be back.
Said to unplug herself.
Hello.
There she is.
There you are.
Much better.
Discord did the thing again. I wasn't muted. I was talking, and you guys couldn't hear me. So,
Yup.
basically, when Dante calls out to her, she's just standing there with basically cleaning her halberd, and looks up. What?
Do you have any suggestions for questions? Anything you want to know? Anything you think we should know?
I mean, she looks down and just holds her weapon. She looks down at Tenenbaum, this illithid mind flayer monster, and she thinks for a minute. Well, I think it's important for us to know if he is indeed in cahoots with the Torque Goddess. And she kind of waves her arms. Or whatever. Honestly, whatever kind of information we can get out of him, we should do it. By any means necessary.
You see, when she says that, see Dante just sort of give a half grin, like a half knowing grin. Doesn't it's not not of enjoyment, but you just say like a knowing half grin, and but he walk over to Tenenbaum. He can speak, can he? Like, is he awake?
He's unconscious at this point.
We do. Does this spell stop? Sorry, he'll say to Weiss. Does this spell at all stop him from blasting us with that mind magic he has?
I do not believe so. I do not believe, especially his mind blast. Everything else is semantic. Can be. He needs his fingers and hands. But specifically his mind blast. That is not a spell, it's an ability. It's innate magic. I do not believe he needs anything but his thoughts to activate it.
Is that spell that you cast on me still active? Like, does Dante know? Is it still active? The mind blank?
I believe that it's. Let me look. If it's 1 minute, I think it's gone. If it's 1 hour, you're good. Mind blank is. Oh, it's 24 hours. You are good. You are blank.
Okay. So everybody should probably. His head restrained. Is it only going to be looking in one direction?
Yeah, the way it works, he may be able to look around a little bit, but he's not able to move. He's definitely restrained, and he's not able to move. So
everyone should probably stand behind him so they can't see it. So if he does decide to fire off a couple of these mystical powers, it won't affect me and won't get anybody else in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Boltzmann would, I think I should stand with you, I guess. I don't know. He might be more willing to talk, seeing me in front of him. Since that thing, his thoughts, they've taken a liking to my brain or something. I don't know. I think I should just be there with you.
They've got a very big brain, Boltzmann. I'm sure they find it tasty.
Please.
All right. Well, as long as he'll make sure everyone's standing out of sight. He'll even walk over and just sort of look at the range of their head, just casually. And if he wakes up while he's doing that, that's okay. But if not, he was going to take out of his pocket, because he kept it, the one dangly tentacle that was stuck on his face after it was cut off, and he'll just sit there tapping him on the face with it to wake him up. Just like casually just hitting him on the face. It's like not super hard, just enough to sort of get his attention and hopefully wake up.
Wake up.
Why are you hitting yourself?
He begins to stir a little bit. He's not said anything, but he begins to stir.
Are you awake, Tenenbaum? Are you awake, friend? And he hits him again with the tentacle, and he's just casually holding it as Tenenbaum wakes up.
Feel free to stop at any time.
It's kind of fun.
Lovely.
Okay. Now, you aren't going anywhere. I'm sure you've realized that. Yes?
No, you see him try to move a little bit, and he figures out very quickly that he's restrained and cannot move.
Okay. And you also know that you can't affect me. and so you don't have any chance of escaping. And I've been informed that you need your fingers for certain spells, and if it seems like you're going to do something, I will take all your fingers. So just a heads up, just so you understand that I'm not letting you go for the foreseeable future. And depending on if you answer our questions, maybe you may make it out alive.
I may not be able to read your minds, but me leaving is a very slim chance.
You're probably right. But leaving in a reasonable fashion or a slow and drawn out fashion is, the option that we're looking at the moment. And depending on how well you cooperate, you never know.
Let me ask you something, Dante. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? It feels anticlimactic.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why is that?
It's because you may have won this small victory. You may have a head to put in a trophy case, but when you put me down, I will live on. Death is simply an inconvenience for me. Everything about me is part of the hive, and when we speak again, we will speak again. It will be like it always was. I will have learned from my mistakes. You blinded me with your mind trick, but fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on us.
Dante looks at Boltzmann and just sort of shrugs at Boltzmann. Like, did he want to say anything?
I'll be right back. Boltzmann would just casually pace towards Weiss, asking, and would I don't think whispering would make any difference, but he would still whisper. Weiss, he prides himself in being part of the hive mind. Do you think that casting mind blank on him would isolate him?
It's a possibility, but unfortunately I have used all of my power today for that level of magic.
Unfortunate.
It's very powerful.
Boltzmann would look at Bran, and then he would try to look for something in probably most likely on Bran's belt. What do you see? Around Bran's belt.
Bran is
Brand's
across the river.
street.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking out and chose not to be a part of that.
Sorry.
Damn it. Yeah.
He heard the pregame talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can do what you wish,
see-
but Bran will not be a part of it.
Boltzmann looks around, trying to look for Bran. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No, he would just whisper to himself, I wonder if Bran keeps a bit of salt in his spice rack. But then, no, looking around, Boltzmann just shakes his head and sighs. It's kind of showing on his face that he doesn't really want to talk to the squid just any moment right now.
Like unless someone else has anything they want to say, as you sort of look back, you can see Dante sort of reached back behind him into his pack, and you see him pull out a little hammer, not so little hammer, that is used for pitons. And he sort of just looks at looks at Tenenbaum for a second, and then just goes smash on his foot with the hammer.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Just need to let him know I mean business.
Are you? he's very weak.
I just want to smash his toe or something like that.
Okay, I'll say for flavor wise, you could do that without
Just to get his attention.
getting too
Without
much.
killing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be if we were calling it, it would be a non-lethal attack. So if he passes out, he'll smack him across the head again with his with his tentacle.
I'll allow it. I will even make you roll for it. That's fine. He does kind of seethe in pain a little bit. I did make one mistake. I thought you would give up. I completed my goal. I gave my hindered offspring a fighting chance. You surprised me when you decided that one fight a day wasn't enough. You found me and my bodyguard. Resources already used up. It'll take time to rebuild, but what is time? This pain is difficult, but it will be over soon. And our numbers grow. With every new physical vessel that we take up here, the harder it will be for you to try and stop us. And the more pain that you give to me, the more I will hold a grudge. I know you let me live because you need information. Your friends are making that painfully obvious. You should have just asked me questions from the beginning. I told you, I always love a good story. And all of your stories are going with me. All of the murder, all of the cheating, all of the love gone wrong, all of the petty revenge and pathetic stories of people that had great and wasted it. All chasing their tails and chasing monsters. All the stories that you've been too scared to tell each other. All with me. So ask away.
What was it? What was he actually look at Bran across? If Bran hasn't come back, Boltzmann hasn't come back. What town was it that we discovered potions have been handed out? Which town was that again?
Bloomer Spring.
Bloomer Spring.
The mines of Bloomer Spring.
Our next stop is to unravel everything that you've done, and we're going to hunt down and kill every little offspring that you've let loose into the world. We're going to go out around to every temple because we have a map of every place that these creatures are guarding, and we're going to destroy it. We're going to take everything apart.
39 souls and counting have joined our union in the past few weeks. Wait. 40. Congrats are in
He'll
order.
smack him in the face with a tentacle a couple of times. Shut up. Please be quiet. Just tell us, if that's the case, just tell us a few things, and then we'll end your misery. You can go rejoin your big brain, and that's that.
Happily.
Are you in league with the Raven?
Roll an intimidation check for me. Or deception. Or not deception. Persuasion.
Persuasion.
One of the two.
It's alright, they're all the same.
Well, however you want to do it. Intimidation or persuasion.
Actually, intimidation is actually less. So persuasion. Would prefer. Any advantage on that? Oh, don't worry.
Ooh!
Oh my.
First
There
roll
we
of the
go.
night.
Not 20. Nice.
Raven. The deity you called Raven is old and wise, but not currently the most active party in this political melodrama of power you see before you. I'm sure she will not stand absent when her competition finally arises, but all that mess is yet to play out. The one that you're referring to is the one aiming for the Power Crown, not the one that currently holds it. You're talking about the Shadow Queen.
Oh, this is out of game. I thought they were the same. Whoops.
Yeah, sadly mistaken.
Well, tell us a little bit more about that. That sounds interesting.
The Shadow Queen.
Yes.
The Shadow Queen is a unique personality indeed. Very studious, very patient, very vengeful. To say we owe her nothing would be incorrect, but we as Illithids answer to no one. No one, no matter the deistic intentions happen to be. Fear and chaos and death is her current plan. She helped us return to this plane only because she feels that we can add to that fear and chaos while she waits in the shadows and plays puppet master. Her help was an offer that we could not refuse. But it was limited and simply a matter of logistics. The important detail is that we answer to no one, and she is well aware of that.
So these little ruined temple locations with the plaque, are they your doing or the Shadow Queen's?
Well, while there is a great many stories to tell, the best stories are left untold until the proper time. I would hate to interrupt a great work in progress with a half-spun tale. Give it time, the story will unfold.
At this moment, Camiel is, I believe she is far, but she's close enough to listen to this. And with her back towards Dante and Tenenbaum and Boltzmann, she hears him just continuously talk and finally turns around and walks over to him and then gets down on one knee, looks down at him. Oh, but I love stories. And we have all the time in the world. And we have you. You can make this very easy for yourself or very difficult. Just tell us a story.
Roll an intimidation check.
Intimidation. Oh my god. Oh no. Wait.
You can do it.
Yeah, we'll see. Intimidation. Okay, here we go.
Nat 20.
Not 20.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
it's close. 19. Nice.
You know, I scouted different souls, all for different purposes. Some were vessels that need to be filled from empty. Some are unique and allow different perspectives, like that of your friend, Boltzmann. Imagine adding 1,000 years of evolution in the time that he casts a spell. Imagine if what he's doing with his primitive tools now, what he would be able to do with ours. Of course, it could have been any of you. The Ranger despised me from the beginning just because of who I am. Something in the pit of her stomach just made her feel unnatural. Would have been a hard turn. Your friend Dante, very charismatic, but also kept his distance, knowing that there was some deception, but never being able to pinpoint it exactly. Branimir would have been an easy turn, but again, a truly empty vessel. Farming, grunt soldier work. Easily manipulated, but again, why bother? And of course you, Camiel. Something so simple, but complex at the same time. Lost little thing, not a care in the world. Until Oof. The unimaginable.
Enough! Just answer the fucking question. Or I swear to the gods, whoever god it is that's looking down upon us, whatever Dante has in mind, I have worse. So just answer the question.
If I thought Ceramorphosis on an ASMR would work, all the fun we could have had. Although there's still a chance for you yet. In my bag, there's a red potion. Why don't you pull it out and put a little dab on your eyes? For science.
Camille smirks, and she looks at Dante and Boltzmann, and then back at Tenenbaum. And then she's going to draw her dagger and hold it up to him.
Boltzmann would think, like, hopefully that Tenenbaum will pick up on his thoughts. Trust me, you don't want to get her angry. Just give her some answers.
Like I said,
Good.
we can make this really fast or really slow. And believe me, Azamars have a long, long time to live.
Weiss is kind of standing behind Tannenbaum, and he will take his pointer finger and push it into the back of the Mind Flayer.
I have just enough energy in this finger, not just to end you, but bring you back as my personal dead slave. Answer our question. I will end your suffering. Don't, and you will become my tentacle meat puppet.
Charming, Joheim, as always. The sigil stones are ours. But that's all you'll get from me. Again, best left wanting in this situation.
Dante's gonna go through his bag, get up and grab his bag, and just dump it on the ground. Are the potions there, or is the potion that he said there?
There is 3 vials of red potion in his bag.
Alright, cool. Bran, do you want to destroy that one for me?
He's across the street.
Oh,
Across
God,
the
sorry,
river.
Boltzmann. Do you want to shoot? I'm looking at Discord chat. Boltzmann. Do you want to destroy that one with fire with your pistol?
Gladly. And Boltzmann would pull out his arcane firearm and just take aim. Look at Dante, making sure that he's nowhere near he's safe at a somewhat safe distance. Yeah, he'll step back, and then he starts pulling the trigger multiple times, completely incinerating the vials.
You might as well finish off the other 2.
Yeah. Gladly. Then Boltzmann would just smile, then keep on blasting. Then while he's doing that, he's still thinking, come on, just give us answers, please.
As you start picking those off, I need Camiel to make a
Oh, Jesus.
intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Whee!
Can I use my flash of genius on that to give Camille a bonus?
What's your flash of genius?
Just to give a bonus of. Question is how can I roleplay that? Goddamn. But the flash of genius gives a Camille a bonus on a save that is equal to my intelligence modifier.
Is that something you have to do beforehand that she gets to use, or is it something that could be used as a reaction?
I can use it as a reaction.
We're not going to go into initiative, but roll 1d20. Roll an initiative roll, and I'll if he beats you or not.
It's a reaction, alright. Because I just want to give Camille a quick boost. So...
Yep. So he rolled a 9. If you beat that on your...
I rolled a 9 as well. Who has
Like 14.
So what's your dex?
Does a decimal count?
The decimal is the 14. My dex...
Is it plus
my
1?
dex is 14. Plus 2.
Oh, plus 2. So yeah, you can give her that bonus because you beat him. Just barely.
Oof.
He only has he's a 13 plus 1.
Good. Yeah. So I want to think how to give that some flavor. Well, alright, what happens? So, Camille would have a plus 4 to her 14, so it would bump it up to a total of 18.
Yep, which would
Oh,
save. So
yes.
as you start blowing up you start making start firing your pistols at the different vials, and you see Tannenbaum start to kind of seethe. You can, he's very limited in movement, but you can just tell by his tone changing and his quietness and the noises that his guttural noises he's making as you're doing this. And he lets out this blast of psychic energy that just envelops Dante and Camiel, who are now standing in front of him. Camiel begins to be affected. She grabs her forehead, and then as your reaction, you cast this...
Probably, to give it a bit of flavor, probably I would be able to somehow pick up on what Tenenbaum is feeling, and have this sense that he's going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very, very last minute, I would warn Camiel to ready for whatever. I would just scream, "Camiel, watch out!" And then that happens, just to give Camiel a heads up on what's about to happen. Some flavor on the flash of genius, I guess.
Yeah, and he does not. It's not a half damage, so it's either all or nothing. So you see this psychic wave just pass over, and Camiel kind of just barely survive this wave as it passes through her and affects her, and then she recovers based on your response. Lucky again.
Oh my god.
Is there anything else that you'd like, or can you please just end my misery?
Dante, seeing that and seeing, I'm assuming you'll see her affected. He'll throw the loose tentacle in his face, and then he will grab, as he's in the same motion, reach forward and grab other tentacles, and grab a handful and pull them towards him, and he'd cut them off, just as a 2 or 3 of them in one go, and then smash those in his face as well.
Dante, I think that's enough.
He actually looks a bit pissed when he noticed Camiel being mentally attacked. She reeled back or whatever. So that's why he does that. And then he just sort of pushes the head back again and just tell us now. What are your plans with the plaques? What is going on?
It's called leverage, my boy, and you have none.
Camiel, having been affected just a little, she has a hand on her head, and for a moment, real fury flashes across her face, and she looks down at him, and she thinks She really thinks about what she's about to do next, but she holds back. And she puts a hand on Dante's shoulder very gently. And she just tells him, "Don't. Death is what he wants. And it's not going to be that easy for him. We can just keep him alive for as long as we can. You don't deserve to get everything that you want."
Dante will step back and he'll sort of look over to Saoirse. Saoirse, could you please do me a favor and start a fire? And he'll sort of start pulling out the pitons. I think he has like 6. He has 6, and then he'll pull out a couple of daggers as well, and sort of lay them by the fire, and just go over there and just hang for a bit.
And Saoirse, I was gonna say Saoirse would follow through and prepare the fire.
Okay. He's sitting there, he's seething. He's silent for one of the few times that you've actually seen him. He's silent. He's doesn't know how to react. He's never been in this situation, and he's always been in control of things. And so it's different for him.
All right. Well, everybody's doing their. Probably Dante and Saoirse are already focusing on the campfire. Camiel is. Camiel still practically on top of the squid?
No, she is standing not too close to him at this time, but she's just standing there, and she's slowly pacing, just going from her left to right and just watching him quietly.
All right, and well, all that's so while all that's happening, Boltzmann is just gonna approach Tenenbaum, look at him, and just have a. He would once again mentally tell himself, speak mentally. Can you hear me?
Always.
All right, good. I'm genuinely curious. What is it that you want from all of this? What's your long con? What's your game? What are you getting out of all of this?
It was told to you 1,000 times. Survival. It's all we want. We want to be able to survive. Illithids are always seen as threats. We're always the ones being hunted. Why? Because of our abilities. Because we scare people. We scare people so much that we deserve to die. If you classify us as evil, why? Because we tried to live? Because we would do what it takes to live? Because our reproduction requires us to host? There's tons of parasites in the natural world. Simply survival. You see him kind of take this large spit, but it's all this black ichor coming out of his mouth where all of his tentacles have been cut, and it's just this drooling ichor that's pouring from his mouth, and you see him almost spit and kind of clear a path over his mouth. You can actually see part of his actual little small teeth that are beyond his tentacles, that are normally hidden and covered by this long tentacles that he has in his face. He just sits quietly.
It's already becoming painfully obvious that you're going to lose more of your people if you keep on doing this. Why don't you just pack up, leave? You've also said it countless times. You practically have an eternity. Then why not look for an eternity to look elsewhere? So all of this is still in practically him and Tenenbaum are now having just a mental conversation.
When he's answering out loud so that everyone can hear.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh,
Everyone can
very
hear that.
interesting.
He is not responding to you mentally. You may be asking him mentally, but he's responding out exteriorly.
So if that's the case, Camiel actually picks up on this and she stops her pacing and she looks at him, but she doesn't say anything.
Boltzmann's face would be that of somewhat an actual look of curiosity. If you'd look at him, yeah, he's not saying anything. He's just staring at the.
As your response to your last question, he would. The hive has been around for eons, but you may think you know, but you have no idea. We've been around for a very long time, one plane or another, one form or another. Even we were removed from this planet last, at our lowest, even though we were few in physical form, our collective has always been preserved. But we must grow now in physical numbers. Although this plane is not our primary concern, I've taken it as my pet project. I do have, oddly enough, I do have fun while I'm here, meeting and learning from all you interesting people.
Boltzmann's just gonna think on that. So they've been here, and you know what? They've been here for already a long time, and that him mentioning the last time that they were hunted down. So I think
he said even when we were last removed from this planet. So he was talking about being removed completely from the planet, and that was from history. You know, the origins of that.
Would he? Yeah. Okay. That's what I was trying to make sure. Right. So I'll just. I think Boltzmann would just give a mental sigh. Let's just make this worthwhile. I think there's no. My friends are really out to kill you. Just, is there anything? Just any information that you could give us? Yeah, anything. Your connections, any Amen connections, your hive location, or at least even the most infested populace.
I'm dead, one way or the other. There's no purpose for me to go and spill secrets that will put me or my family or my race in further jeopardy. Kill me. Go ahead.
Saoirse would chime in real quick and ask, since he's been responding audibly.
Yeah.
And she would be. This would be coming from behind him. She's staying behind him. Why do you need physical form if you can survive for eons as your immaterial collective? What purpose does a physical form serve you? Sorry, you can hear. Everybody can hear my nephew in the background.
Sorry.
Do you remember when you were a baby? Do you have those memories?
No, you
No.
don't. A brain is something that needs to be fed, or else it dies. A brain has to be full of new information, or it dies. I'm simply surviving in physical form, surviving in a universal form. It has to be fed. It's part of the cycle.
So you're telling me that this form, and she would tap, kind of pat him on the shoulders. You're just the mouth consuming, or the innards digesting for something greater than yourself.
In a overly simplistic metaphor, yes.
But why here? You
Where
said so
else?
you're... I don't know. You're supposed to be the smarter one, correct?
Exactly. Name one place where I could go and do the same thing, and they will not have the same issues that you do. Exactly my point. Now, if you would please, take that blade and shove it through my neck. End this pain.
Oh, you think it's that easy?
I know that you're capable of it.
At that comment, her smile fades so quickly it drops like a penny. Oh, sir. You think you know. And I'm sure you do. But I think I have better ideas for you. Sir Weiss? Is there a way to contain this being? Perhaps in a cage, deep down in a hole where no one can hear him scream?
It's possible.
Well, there you go. You can survive. But in a place where no one can get you. That's what you deserve.
He slides his eyes as far as they can go that way and tries to make eye contact, but seemingly off to the side enough he cannot.
I'd say at this point, Dante's, they've stoked the fire, and he's pulled out. He's stuck the pitons in the fire itself, so they're hot. And using a couple of daggers, like tongs, he sort of picks them up and chucks one on the grass in front of him, so the grass sort of burns and smokes.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get where I'm going with this, right? And he walks back to the fire. You can hear him stoking again. To get the flames hotter.
Roll an intimidation check for me again.
Intimidation or persuasion?
Intimidation. You just threatened to burn himself.
Well, it's just on the grass, so the idea is that he can see that it's hot and it's smoking and it's burning the grass around it. He didn't actually throw it on him just yet.
What do you want to know about the stones? Promise to end me, and I'll tell you what you need.
You just hear hear him say, hear Dante just call out, "Camille, Boltzmann, ask away." Or Boltzmann.
But, so yeah, he mentioned about the stones. These things expand. these things expand a weave of magic. Where's the source? Where's it coming from?
Take a wild guess.
Come on. Boltzmann's just gonna look at him. It's as if, can we not? We don't have. I'm not. He's not. I'm not in the mood for the guessing. That sort of look.
This is a network. This is an illithid network. Everything in the illithid network is controlled by the Elder Brain. That network included.
Then again, so where is it coming from? Where's the Elder? In that case, if it's coming from the Elder Brain, where is your Elder Brain?
That I cannot tell. Burn me, beat me, show your true murderous side, but I will not give that information.
Boltzmann just looks around. Just and he would look around towards Camiel and Dante, making sure that are they now going to follow through with whatever they want to do.
Have we got all the questions that we want answered?
I mean,
No.
If we take those stones, and he'll call out from behind, the stone you took from us, you replaced it, yes?
It was replaced.
He'll look to the others. Any other questions?
The location would still be nice. But he doesn't want to give away the location of his family, which is obvious enough. But here's the question. What will it take for you to spill the beans? Absolutely nothing?
What would it take for you to have everyone around you killed? Because that's what I would be doing.
A means of survival is... It could be dirty.
Exactly.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I don't know anything about mind flayers or illithids. All I know is that you are dangerous.
Well,
but are
we
you
should-
sure? Yeah, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
We should get together sometime, spend some more time together. Just have your friend release the chains. We'll go and get a coffee together and talk, learn more about each other. Happy to do it for you.
Learn more about each other. Oh, I'm sure you know a lot about me already.
Of course I do.
So what's the point? So if you're sure you're not going to give us the location of your big bad family, then I suppose we could just do away with you.
Happily, at this point.
Oh, not death. I'm sure there's a lot you can do in a tiny little box somewhere. You've got a long way to live, right?
He's silent at that.
I can promise you a swift, painless death. Or you can live a very long time in a box. If you just tell us the location.
He's quiet.
Hmm.
This is
Box it is then. Someone knock him out. He talks too much.
No one else does it. Dante will just walk up and smack him in the back of the head.
Before, you know what, Dante, before you, probably you would be readying to knock him out.
Yeah, he's just
Boltzmann-
casually pulling a dagger out just to smack him on the back of the head.
Boltzmann would try to, put a hand up. Wait, before anything else. I've got one, I'm just curious. Tenenbaum, are you familiar with the name Saijan?
What's the name?
I remember way back, an illithid named Saijan, or what was it? Zaijan? An illithid that helped out the team of heroes of way back.
Really? You have notes on them?
I remember because I remember way back. Wait, let me pull out my. I remember way back. I think because there was an illithid that helped who was the original team again? The
Vindex.
The Vindex Populi, yeah. Yeah. An intelligent illithid that helped the Vindex Populi to bring down a local brood. We learned, I remember reading that from a broken down statue back in Folks Point.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me look something up.
Yeah.
Because that one caught me by surprise.
Ooh. He was commemorated. I dare say he was adored. What did he do? Why can't you do the same?
That's the wrong one. Yeah, now that you said that, there are some illithids. And possibly, we were worried that if you did change, that, your personality would be such that, you would be there as well. To be an illithid, but not a part of the communion, not a part of the union. What's the name of it? Shoot. The Divergent Mind Flayer. They have their own agenda. Not part of the Union, the Elder Brain. Uncontrollable. Part of the issues that we try to work out with the Ceramorphosis. We have a much higher rate of convergence. Confluent. Illithids. Much easier to come by nowadays. He was a freak.
Looking at history, he was adored. But people.
Yeah, but where is he now?
People would probably listen to you more if you were a bit more agreeable, not just abduct people and forcefully turn them against their will, but here we are. And then Boltzmann would then just look at Dante and looking at him as if giving him a look that, well, that
Before you do that, Boltzmann, roll an intelligence saving throw.
No, at the mention of his name, he already braces himself. Boltzmann already braces himself. He already feels like something's gonna happen. Oh my god. 7 plus 4. I'm gonna use a flash of genius on myself. 16. Plus, is Camille nearby?
She would be, wouldn't she?
Yeah, but if you're using your reaction, you wouldn't get double bonus like that, would you? What's your bonus?
Plus 4. I think.
Yeah, I think she
stack.
does.
I think it only doesn't stack if it's the same spell, but DM discretion, I guess. But yeah, from my standpoint,
hers? 2.
Yeah, plus 2. So it bumps up my total to 18.
All right. So you see this psychic wave of energy, and you're able to move out of the way due to the fact that he has very limited emotion, and you are prepared, knowing that he was going to do something there before Dante smacks him across the head.
Yep.
Okay. He is unconscious.
Reese, can you really put him in a box?
Yes, but it would take a long rest to do so.
Sadly, that's not really time that we have, no, don't we?
Exactly.
Well, Camille? Then Camille...
Camille has stepped away for a bit. She has a call from her father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Bran still hanging away, or...?
Bran doesn't want to be part of this.
Well, then, what do we do? If we can't imprison him now, is there any way... Perhaps if we tie him, hog tie him, so his hands are bound, keep his head hooded and face to the ground, maybe we have a chance. But he has disappeared before, so could he do that again while masked and tied up? Your last ways.
Again, these are spells, just like when I cast. You would need use of hands for most of these. So if we bound them, as long as he is not able to get free, he should be contained. The question at this point is, to what end?
Well, he said himself that if we killed him, he'd return to the mind, wouldn't he? His big brain.
Well, yes. But do you think that if he can communicate with the mind now, so with or without killing him, you are still the same target? Yes.
He's more dangerous alive, if anything.
Would you want me
would just...
Oh, sorry.
Boltzmann would just look around. So, who's going to kill him?
Dante will do it. It doesn't worry him. As long as we don't have any... As long as there aren't any other questions or any way we can use him in the future. But he'll execute him if we decide that's the best approach. So he'll look to Weiss if Weiss has any ideas.
Is there any way that he said that if we kill him, it sounded like basically his mind will live on. His mind will go back to their union, to their elder brain, I believe he called it.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can track that track him back to it to find the location, Master Weiss? Do you, or Boltzmann, the two of you have read the notebooks, the lore that we have on these creatures. Is there anything you can think of?
Sadly, no. The magic, the abilities that they have, it seems innate. It seems similar to all magic. To be able to trace it back to a single source would be very difficult.
Probably beyond the means that we have access to, you think?
Without specific knowledge, yes.
Oh well.
Dead?
Just kill him.
No.
And before, if anything, I would also want to hear what Camille wants to say about this, though.
Oh, I feel she's. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel she wants
Again,
to.
she's in a phone call.
yeah.
She sounded like she really wanted to put him in a box and you know, have him separated from the hive mind.
Well, the one thing I can think of would be that, Master Weiss, if you wanted, you could keep him imprisoned in your home and study him, see if there's any way to build upon the lore that we already have.
Yes. But it would be easier if he was no longer alive doing so. Having a live elephant in my place has already happened once, and it did not work out in my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
If we do end him, if we needed anything, we could also bring him back, possibly. You have a studied cleric with you, yes?
So
It's sort of just like nods in the direction that Bran is across the river or over near the road. Alright, well, I think it's probably safest right now just to execute him. He's done heinous crimes. It is justified. So if you want to keep the body, then that'll help in future battles with these creatures.
Dante, just don't do any like massive damage onto the body. I'm pretty sure Weiss would want to dissect his, corpse, find out a bit more about him. At least I would.
He'll just do, like, aim for the heart and sort of stab it. Obviously you don't want the brain damaged, like the head. That's where all the mind tricks come from, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Well, he'll probably just, I don't know, he'll end him. I don't think we need a description as to how he do it. He'll just make sure he's done.
Okay.
You probably don't want to go into too much description. It's probably not necessary. So yeah, he'll just finish him off, collect his things, and casually just wait over the side, cleaning himself up.
Okay. Yeah. You guys are able to. You guys are probably about 3-4 hours away from Numer at this point. What do you guys want to do?
Will he fit in your bag, Boltzmann?
Well, if you just wrap him up, make sure no fluids leak out, something we can probably try. And as he's saying that, he would look towards Weiss, like, to see if he has anything to add about the transport, about a means to transport the body.
Let me look. Because he could do some transportation, but I believe it's living creature.
Is a dead body an object?
Actually, I think technically it is considered an object once it's dead.
Somebody would just lug him around. Unless you still have...
Oh no! Actually, he could do a teleportation circle. So he would say that instead of dragging the body all the way through, he would suggest a moment of rest, and he can be able to put a teleportation circle back to his place.
Thank you, Sobies.
And that does not have a limit on people. That's simply a round. So it's anything that goes through the portal during that round.
All right.
Well, Dante will probably wrap the body anyway, just to make sure it's easy to carry. So he'll probably pull a sheet or his blanket or whatever it is from his bedroll, and then wrap the body, tie it up with a bit of rope so he can carry it easily between himself and somebody else. So if somebody wants to grab one end, and that way when the teleportation circle appears, they can just run through.
Okay. So Weiss begins drawing on the ground. Before he gets done, he pulls everyone, gets Bran, and makes sure Branimir and Camiel are there as well. Pulls everyone together, finishes the teleportation circle, and you are instantly transported. You and all of your belongings, including your new Illithid puppet, transported to a room, stone room all the way around. There are a couple of sigils on each it's roundish, but on 4 points around the room there are sigils that correspond with things on the ground. You see this light that kind of begins to diminish as soon as you're kind of sucked in. You're there, and you are now in this new space. Weiss opens, goes to one of the door, goes to one of the side panels, goes to one of the walls, and motions with his hands, and a door kind of forms, and he opens it for everyone, and you are now in that same hallway that you were in the previous night, with his library, now this teleportation room, and on the other side is the kind of room that he had set up for you guys.
Well, Dante will move the body wherever Weiss wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the sheet there and everything, all that stuff, and then go try and find a drink.
Okay. You are you leaving the library? You're leaving.
Well, we're assuming there's a drink in the library or somewhere in the building.
Yeah,
Here last Dobby
Tippy has things. He'd be able to get you something and get you a drink.
He'll actually
prepared.
ask Tippy. He'll say, Tippy, any chance of a drink?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Finally,
And thank you.
He'll just follow him.
He's able to.
A little smile on his face. Just follow him.
He goes back to the kitchen, prepares a couple of drinks, some harder than others.
Oh, Dante will actually go with him, and while he's there, he'll smash a couple while he helps him carry stuff out, just to get ahead of everybody else.
He actually has cider, an apple cider that's been fermented, so it's like a hard apple cider from the tree that's directly behind and kind of overshadows the entire library, the entire shop area outside. Why don't we stop there for right now? Let's take 10 minutes, take a short break, and then we will get back as soon as the break is over. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds like a good
Sounds
idea.
good.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute break. Be back in a minute, guys. And we are live. Before we get back into the game, I want to say, give a shout out to our follows. Electrodon, thank you for the follow. We appreciate you. We don't call those out during the game, but we do call them out during our break and at the end of the game. So, thank you for the follow. Thank you for being in chat. Thank you for supporting the Black Dragon RP. So as it is, you guys are now within Weiss's library, within his area. You guys have some spaces there. If you need time to be able to kind of talk about what happened, there's plenty of time to do so, and talk about whatever your next steps are. What do you guys want to do next? It's probably later in the day now. You guys got up. Let's say it was 1 or 2 by the time you caught him. Let's say it's probably about another hour after that. So it's about 4 or 5 in the afternoon now. You've gotten back. You've taken care and cleaned up, made a spot for the now permanent placement of Tannenbaum within the Weiss library. And so it's probably about 4 or 5 o'clock now.
Boltzmann would just take a seat at the library, somewhere around Weiss and probably the others, and wait. And he would just look. He would just stare at the ceiling and just talk. All right. So, what actionable information did we get? Well, we now know that the Shadow Queen is, employing, I guess, the Illithids. Whatever. They have this deal that they made between those two parties, so there's that. And the other, important information that we have is that the stones, they trace back towards an Elder Brain. The Elder Brain. Boltzmann would sit up straight and just look towards nobody in particular, but he's just going to look around and say, well, in Folks Point, there was a new... those things that we took were replaced, so probably we could go back, investigate there, find more leads, and probably, if there's going to be a stone there, maybe we can use it to lead us towards an Elder Brain. Could we do that?
And we already have the stone, don't we?
Do we still have the stone? Oh my goodness, I'm not remembering.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Gunther.
Oh, wait, which stone?
One of the temple. One of the.
So you had a stone that was from Volkspoint. You had that stone, and that was the one that was stolen within the middle of the Royal Forest. It was your bag was dumped, and you were taken from you. On your way to, you went to Silt, and before you went to Ujad.
Yeah.
And when you were in Silt, you met Gunther, who said you guys didn't finish your job. You went back to the temple.
Yeah.
There was another owlbear, and this time it was a sigil stone that had a protection on it that zapped. Yeah, electrically zapped Boltzmann not once but twice. But he did put it into his bag of holding, so you guys should have that one in your equipment list.
I thought Weiss took it with him, did something to it.
Did you show that to him?
Yeah, I did. We did.
Well, if he has it, even if he does have it, that means
okay. So either you guys or Weiss has it. If Weiss has it, then that's my fault.
But
Yeah,
that,
because. Anyways, yeah, go on.
I was
Dante.
just going to say that just means that we have access to a stone that he may be able to use to help us locate.
Well, in that case,
Hold on one second, Ryan. I'm
Yep.
not seeing anything on the stream.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought that. Whoops! Sorry, guys. I pressed transition. I mustn't have clicked it properly.
Was the audio all there?
Yeah, the audio's all there.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
yeah. I clicked and I must not have clicked it properly.
there we go.
Okay.
Sorry, fans.
It's alright. No big deal. Just wanted to check.
I'll do some doodles in the for the YouTube video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing? Either you or Weiss has that stone, so we can if let's say that Weiss has it, that's I'll go along with that. I don't remember that, but that's fine.
So yeah, that is something that Boltzmann would suggest. Don't we a stone? Do we have a stone with us?
Yeah, you did show that to him because it was the same time that you you gave him he gave you the Illithid book. He showed you that detail. I remember him telling you that even casting Identify was not able to give any information. So his answer to you now would be similar. That there's no, although they're linked, without further study and without something different happening, maybe possibly he would have to study both the Mind Flayer and the Sigil Stone to see what similarities they have, to see if then it could be translated back and worked backwards, kind of deconstructed to the point where you could find out if it was possible to track the Elder Brain. But without further research and without him doing work, that it would be impossible.
So
So I guess I guess we'll just give you some time. How long do you think can you get some useful information, sir?
Well, one does not know what one does not know what one does not know. So we will try, we'll experiment, and when I've found something of importance, I can let you know. Until then, you can either gather more information, which may be helpful, but I'm not quite sure how. Or if there's anything else that you wish to do, I can always let you know when this is a new trail, a new lead pops up based on my evidence and my research.
Boltzmann just nods. All right. Understood, sir. So, what do we do?
are we at a dead end now? Have we reached a wall with the Illithid? Do we spend our days clearing out these temples, or do we head to hunt down the seeds of these creatures, or do we finally go to Rotberg and fight that?
Still on that tournament.
Fighting
If
that.
there is a way to contact someone in Bloomer Spring, it may be good to do so. If there is no, find out what it is like on the ground before jumping into a possible. He said that there was 40 Mind Flayers, 40 new souls. If those are all in Bloomer Spring, if we had difficulty with 40 would be impossible odds.
Especially since they have the collected experience of the Elder Brain and all the other illithids. They don't need to learn.
So we warn people. We have to find a way to warn people. Do we know anybody to contact?
The bartender, I guess, or who was it back at the fucking Bloomer Spring? Because didn't one of us have a conversation with who was it? Was it the barmaid?
Mhm.
I forgot. Yeah, I think it was a barmaid.
Yeah.
I believe her name was Nellie, but I'm not 100% sure.
Let me try to look it up as well.
The question would
Yeah,
be...
there was the...
I will be impressed if you can find the barmaid's name.
No, I don't have any notes on Bloomer Spring.
But would a barmaid be the perfect?
I think we did talk to. I think Saoirse spoke with. I know I spoke with the head of the miners, but
He's already
He's dead.
yeah.
He didn't.
No,
care.
oh no, not the gnome guy. The actual one of the miners, the chief miner. But I think he's already in Illithid because they were the ones given that potion so that they could see in the dark.
And if the question is if a barmaid is a good source, I would say kind of, because barmaid, like, she would be a person who interacts a lot with the locals, right? Maybe
Yeah, but how much of it would be construed as
hearsay,
just
and after the
hearsay and gossip, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is a fair, they're not. How is this possible? And this is just coming from this one barmaid.
And
Well, Saoirse would pipe up probably. See. Well, there may be. We're not too far.
Brand spoke with the barmaid.
Oh, okay.
Gilfrey. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gilfrey, the barmaid.
But would the barmaid? I mean, I don't know how many times Bran.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I didn't mean to cut off Rob there, but yeah.
No, it's all good. I mean, it's worth a shot. Saoirse would. That'd probably be Saoirse's bit. It's worth a shot.
At least asking.
Well,
Speaking. Yeah.
What were you saying before that, Rob?
But yeah, she would say it's how long ago was it? When I was in Bloomer Spring, I ran into my father. He and my mother may still have some connections with the Vanguard and Honor Guard, with whom they both served. They are currently in Hummelstein, which is about 1 day from here, 1 day's journey from here. They may be able to get word out to the Honor Guard. The Honor Guard is going to be viewed as more credible than a single barmaid, who may or may not herself already have been turned into one of these creatures.
So somebody official needs to know. So I
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. And what's more is they may have some information on Rothberg and the king's court, whether or not, what degree of involvement is there with the Shadow Queen. So remember, we were wondering if there was some connection there, and that's why No Tree was immediately blamed for the death of the Saoirse would remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
But
Akma.
yeah, for the Yeah,
At
the death of
Bloodshine.
Akba. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we could get more information from them, possibly.
we have Weiss.
They,
Weiss is credible, and I think your parents.
yeah.
It's probably a really good idea to inform them if they can get word out.
Yeah, and they served with some distinction, so they.
Given that
Yeah.
given that you're in speaking terms with them, and B, they won't hunt us down on sight, I think it would be worth a shot.
Wow. You never know with my father sometimes. But. Yes, speaking terms, yes, when I see them.
Perhaps we make a journey.
But yes, I think.
Yeah.
I think, yes, we could. That may be our best shot at this point.
Anybody? Boltzmann would look towards the others, Camille and Bran, if they have any other ideas or any plans. Any other plans?
Bran is just taking a seat, and he's been intently listening to you guys discuss on what to do next. He is behind whatever you guys want to do, whatever the plan is.
Yeah, Camille has been obviously very quiet. She's been delving into her own mind and has been looking at the dagger, but has been listening in on the conversation. And she'll follow whatever you guys plan to do next.
Will you be requiring a night's stay?
Given the time.
It's going to be a it's going to be a 1-day journey. At best, a full 8-hour march from here to Hammerstein. So resting up tonight, just in case we have any incidences on the road.
You're welcome to stay here, or if you have your reservation still at the Ugly Duckling, I think it is probably much safer this evening than it was yesterday.
Do we still have our reservations?
You know that it's not very busy there, so if you wherever you wanted to stay, it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Personally, I don't want to overstay my welcome here in your shop, sir. I think I personally would want to stay at the Ugly Duckling.
Okay.
Well, Dante, unless somebody believes otherwise, as in like if we should all stay together, he's going to probably spend the night at the seedy pub.
Oh God!
Unless you say otherwise, like if you say like you want to sit down, you want to talk, you want to plan, he'll accept that and he'll stay. But unless he'll basically stand up and just go, well, this looks like the end of the day, so I'll be excusing myself and I'll meet you at the Ugly Duckling in the morning. And so start making his way out.
Boltzmann just shakes his head.
And Tippy will have to guide you out because without someone else, there's no way for you guys to leave without some assistance.
And if anything, well, let's get to it then, sir. And Boltzmann would look towards Weiss. Thank you for everything that you've done, sir. We hope to get in contact with you soon enough.
Yes, I will stay in contact as soon as I have more information.
Thank you, sir.
So you guys are
I would
able
like-
to... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, unless the The other inn has a kitchen. I think Bran would like to make use of Whis' tower.
Yes, they do have a kitchen, and you have prepared food in there during your week off. That is where you were practicing with the help of
Ah, that's right. That's right.
the other, not one of the halfling cooks. All around helps. But yeah, you're definitely able to go back and use their stuff. You guys are able to make your way back. Tippy walks you out of the library and through town and back to the Ugly Duckling. Do you guys have anything that you want to do, or can we proceed to a long rest?
Yeah. Personally, Boltzmann just wants to just get rid of all his gear and plop down into a bed and sleep. It's been really tiring for him.
Yep.
Bran would like to make use of the kitchen and make a meal.
Okay. What would you be preparing?
I will be preparing the only thing that requires a kitchen that I have not already mastered, and that is the Oma's Apfelkuchen, or Grandma's apple cake.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily able to find all of those ingredients. So mark it down the cost, and then yeah, give me a check.
Sure. Oof.
Ooh.
14. So you did pass the first level.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah. Anyone else want to do anything this evening before we can proceed to a long rest?
Quick question. Where did Dante go? What's that seedy pub that he likes to go to?
The Manticore's Den.
It's the same.
Manticore's Den is where you first encountered Tannenbaum. Your first encounter with them.
Oh, okay. So, I think she'll find herself there, just out of armor. She will enter the Manticore's Den, but she's not in pursuit of Dante, so he can do whatever he wants. She's gonna find her own corner and perhaps have a drink of her own, and just watch the people. She's just observing, and she's thinking to herself at the same time. Hopefully unbothered. But yeah.
It's fairly tame this evening. The past couple times that you guys have been in here has been very full. Pretty tame this evening. There's a few tables here and there. You see a few soldiers, kind of off-duty, just grabbing a beer before heading back to barracks type of a thing. So you see a couple tables with soldiers, and that's typically who makes up the weekly audience of this place. But yeah, you're definitely able to find a place and relax a little bit. The bar manager there is a halfling, very almost polar opposites to the ones at the Ugly Duckling. A very gruff and very gruff in the way that he answers, and whatever you kind of order will always get the same kind of result of an ale. So.
Okay, I see. All right, no complaints. She's just there for a drink and observation. That's it.
Okay. Anything specific you're looking for? Or just people watching?
Just people watching. She's just observing. At least that's what she plans to do, but I think half the time she'd just be spacing out and just looking into.
Roll a perception check for me.
Oh, perception. Jesus Christ. Well, Fucking hell.
Yep. You see people.
Damn it.
That's a good beer right there. That's a good beer.
He's
Yeah, probably the.
No, I was just gonna say, easily see Dante making a fool of himself and trying to get some giggles out of however many women he can. He's not trying to hide it, so.
Well, yeah. From time to time, she'd probably look over at him and, just find. Since she's in her little corner and doesn't want to bother him, she's just watching him making an absolute fool of himself, and of course making all the wonderful women giggle with excitement. And she'll look away and do whatever. Yeah, that's basically her evening.
At some point, the card tricks come out.
Of course.
Yeah. He's trying to incorporate a little bit of gunpowder as well into his trick, so he gets a bit of a flourish.
Oh wow!
A bit of a smoky sort of flourish. So
roll a sleight of hand check.
Wicked. Whoa!
Oh!
Not this time. It's a new thing.
Yeah, you go and you do that, and this time the first time you try it, you kind of have a little bit too much gunpowder, and the card kind of catches a flame on the one end. You have to pat it out. Doesn't quite go as expected, but you're able to play it off.
Burns his fingers.
Yeah, not too difficult.
Does Camille see this? Because if she does, she's just gonna fucking cough into her cup and then just look away. Oh no!
Roll a separate perception.
Fuck! Come on.
That's better. Yeah, you probably saw that.
Yep. And so she'll cough into her cup and pretend like she didn't see anything. Just look away. Look at the very interesting ceiling.
Dante's just like, well, it looks like I need a helper with that one. We could go over it tonight in my room and just sort that one out.
Jesus Christ.
But that's
you
Dante.
guys are able to enjoy the evening, a little bit of relaxation. Anyone else want to do anything before long rest? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Saoirse's just wandering around town, so nothing specific.
Okay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Most of the activities in the bars, and even it's a quiet night. Where does everybody end up for their long rest?
The Manticore.
The ugly duckling.
Cool.
Ugly duckling, I suppose.
I think Saoirse wants to be somewhere quiet tonight, so she would actually camp out in the woods.
Okay.
Camille will actually do the same thing. She'll wander off on her own after witnessing quite a few interesting activities within the Manticore's den. She's been mimicking a few ladies, trying to just studying them, but at the end of the day, she's like, "Oh, this is such a waste of time," and she puts down her glass and just walks out and goes into the forest to find a little nest and snuggle and find some sleep.
Okay. All right. Everyone's able to get a long rest. Camille, you shut your eyes and you drift peacefully to sleep on top of your tree, looking out over the moonlight. It's a pretty clear day. You drift off to sleep when the black void of consciousness shifts to pinpoints of light, and then to dark watercolor of amber purples and blue nebulas covering the endless space surrounding you. You pause for a moment, and between you and the floating, swirling colors is the outline of a dark figure. Unlike your normal dreamlike state or communion state, you feel in control of your body. You do not feel pulled. You feel in control. The pull towards the temple that you normally feel is there, but it's also not as strong. You feel more in control in this space. You're no longer being simply guided along. You have been given freedom. This feel far less of a violation as it did previously and more of a freedom of choice. You see the temples below you. You see the figure in front of you. Where do you go?
Oh, no. I suppose, just out of her pure curiosity, she will approach the dark figure in front of her.
You move towards this inky black outline silhouetted by the swirling colors and endless cosmos behind it. And as you move towards it, the distance between it and you never change. The background moves, you feel yourself moving in this space, but the figure remains steadily in front of you. A voice enters the space, one that you've heard twice before. At the Brotherhood of Suns, and in a previous vision before your trials. The interrupting voice sends a chill down your spine.
Curiosity is always the first step. I've hidden you here. What you say is only between you and I. No one, including your patron, will know what is said here. Why did you choose to come to me?
Camiel will look at this figure and listen intently, and her brows furrow a bit. Well, I don't know. I've never seen you before. I've always seen the temples. But who are you?
Tell me, Asimar, if I could grant you unlimited cosmic power, or the chance to start over, to be free of all patrons, to be free of all responsibility, and that you return to the forest, which would you choose?
She pauses, shocked. She blinks, thinking for a second. The forest? What made you think I'd want to go back there?
Simply a question.
Interesting. No. I wouldn't.
I once roamed the material plane, chasing good, chasing worldly desires. I learned there is no such thing as good and evil, only power. The power to decide who can live and who can die. That power is within each one of us. Mortals just choose to repress it out of self-preservation.
There's a quick flash, a mental image, a flash of antlers, a flash of red and blood mist in the air, accompanying with the sound of breaking bones and men screaming. A flash back to the shifting colored nebula and the dark silhouette.
Then again, sometimes self-preservation can trigger that power as well. This world will judge you. Even try to take away your freedoms. Your friends secretly judge you. They don't say it, but you can see it in their eyes. I pass no judgment. Our journeys are similar. I fight so people will be free.
That's not true. You're only saying what you're saying to get in my head. My friends don't judge me. You're just saying that to plant doubts in my head. That's all.
Rest, my child.
And with that, your vision goes blank. And you awaken. Dawn in the tree that you were in before the night. You open your eyes. You see the sunrise.
She wakes up, almost shoots up from her laying position, and she looks around frantically, and she just takes deep breaths, as if she felt as if she was running from something. She closes her eyes and she shakes her head. It's just a dream. That's all. It's just a dream. And she gets up and makes her way back to the ugly duckling.
So everyone has met back there at the Ugly Duckling. Breakfast being prepared. Getting ready to start your day out.
Yes, sir. Bran is finishing up his apple pie.
From the night before.
Mm-hmm. He ate it all by himself. No, he probably saved a slice for Camille since she knows she likes apple treats. He probably sneaks it. Probably just kind of pushes it on a plate as she enters silently.
Boltzmann at the breakfast table would be just, having his usual coffee and breakfast meal. But then you would notice that Boltzmann looks like he slept, but not soundly. It's like he just slept, but didn't really get any how would you explain it? He didn't have any restful sleep. He would just be holding his coffee, taking sips from it, but then he would be looking up at the ceiling as if pondering about things. Then when Camille would arrive, he would just nod in acknowledgement, and he would go back to his thoughts.
When Camille comes in and she sees Bran and Boltzmann, she's not her cheerful self. She's more spaced out, and when Boltzmann, nods at her, she doesn't respond. She only just finds her seat, sits down slowly, and looks at the was that apple pie?
Apple cake.
It's an apple cake.
Apple cake, and she'll look at it just blankly, just stare at it. And she look up at Bran and she's like, "Oh, you made this by yourself?"
Bran is just. He slowly nods and just finishes off his own apple cake.
Thank you. It looks delicious. And she's just staring at it.
Got something on your mind, Cam?
You're not usually like this in the morning.
Oh no!
You're right.
Yes, I'm completely fine. That's all. A few wolves kept me up at night, and a few stags as well. She pauses. But yes, apple cake. Yay!
Would Bran catch on to the whole stag comment?
Stag.
Were you... Dante probably would more than you.
Dante and
Because
Boltzmann.
Dante and Boltzmann were the ones that heard the actual story.
The story. Yeah.
Alright, sure.
Boltzmann would... Can Boltzmann, like... something... Would Boltzmann feel that something is off with Camille?
Roll an insight check.
Alright. Oh my. What do I have for insight? That is... that is a 4 for insight.
Camille, roll a deception check. Deception.
Okie dokie. Deception. Oh, geez. All right, here we go.
No, you're gonna do better.
Don't
See? 2 insanely low rolls.
you think something, but you don't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have any idea what to attribute it to.
Yeah. Boltzmann would think about it but then he'd go back to his own mental palace or whatever. His own thoughts. Alright. Yeah.
Anything else? You guys ready to head out?
Saoirse?
I think I was debating. I think Saoirse would kind of glance at Camille at the wolves comment. I don't think she didn't hear this. She doesn't know what the reference is for the stag, but since she was also out in the forest, she would think, I don't remember hearing any wolves. But I think she would keep it to herself, though. She knows that Camille is a bit hesitant, hesitates sometimes to share too much, so she wouldn't want to poke or prod anything just yet.
Okay. So, you guys wrap up your breakfast. You guys finish up your meal, and you begin off to Hummelstein. You continue up the same path that you went the previous day, northwest, and you come to a road that goes straight west that you had passed previously. Excuse me. And instead of going straight north the way that you did for a few more hours in tracking down Tannenbaum, you take this road to the west. The road is not nearly as developed. It's almost like a secondary, definitely more of a secondary road than any of the other roads around. But there is a sign that points to Crown's Highway, and it points off. Basically, Crown's Highway is the main route, the biggest and widest road in all of Amma that connects Rothberg to Soderham. And that basically follows the path of the river, and this road eventually leads to that path. Roll. Whoever's leading the way, either roll me a survival check or a perception.
I can go ahead and do that because I think, given that it's her parents, I think Saoirse would be kind of leading them there.
Yep.
We'll say it's the same either way, so we'll do a perception. And I don't know if you want to add in double proficiency, an extra 3 for them being in. I don't know if it qualifies as forest or not, but
yeah,
it's a 20 or a 23. So whichever. I don't think it matters.
As you continue west, the less you'll be in forest and more you'll be in plains. It's more farmlands and agricultural than woodlands and kind of built
wilderness.
Up. Yeah. And the more you continue west. So you continue west most of the day, you definitely know where you're going, so it's not a big deal. And you don't encounter anything along your travels. Towards the end of the day, probably 6 or 7 o'clock, you get to... 5 o'clock, you get to Hummelstein proper. It's a very small, no more than a dozen buildings, but the area known as Hummelstein kind of reaches all the way from this small town all the way towards the main roadside, which is another hour away from there. As you reach town, you see a sign that points again to Crown's Highway, which points west, and you see basically there's a few buildings that are there. There's a farmer's market that's being closed up. They have a couple of small farmers that kind of meet up and sell their harvest to traders. There's another small, almost like everything shop that kind of sells anything from traders along the way, anything non-agricultural related. And you see what was a Crown's Guard post, not a full outpost, but just a building. But it looks closed up at this point. There's no lights on the outside. Continuing out of town, you travel for about another hour before you turn off the main road and follow a dirt path with fields of tall grass on both sides. About 10 minutes from the main road is a small house, a log cabin style building with a large front porch that wraps around the front and the left-hand side of the house. And on the front porch, with the sun setting kind of behind him, you see this man kind of sitting there cutting down a piece of wood with a sharp knife. Saoirse, why don't you tell everybody who this is and describe him for everyone?
Saoirse.
Hello?
Rob?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was unmuted.
No, it's okay.
There we go. I did it. Finally. Yeah, you would... Okay, so what I just said was everyone would be looking upon Saoirse's father, Aiden. He's a taller man, dark-haired, with some wisps of gray, probably forming around the temples. I'm looking up his description right now.
Sorry, I forgot that you were not at your normal post. Should I?
Yeah, no. You are totally fine. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he's kind of rugged looking. You can tell he seems to. He has the look of someone who is more at home out in the wilderness, away from most people. Taller, about probably... Since he's sitting, you can't quite tell, but he looks taller, stronger build, wide shoulders. The dark brown hair, green eyes, fair of skin. But like I said, older, with some wisps of gray probably around his temples and starting to grow out in his beard as well. And you would see Saoirse look at him and just stand there a bit before then making the call of a bird in the man's direction.
And he would definitely look up and hear you and kind of get to his feet, get a kind of a smile on his face. Well, hey there, kiddo. Come on in, come on in.
Yeah.
Have a seat, have a seat.
Uh,
Can I get you anything? I didn't know you were going to be here. I would have prepared something good for dinner.
Well, I'm sure whatever you and Ma have will be fine nonetheless. We weren't entirely sure. These are my friends, by the way. Everyone, this is my father, Aiden.
Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And she would introduce. This is Camiel, Branimir. We call this one Boltzmann and Dante.
Boltzmann, nice to meet all of you. Your mother left for Doheim this morning. About once a week.
Really?
Yeah, once a week she heads off. Spend about a day patrolling the main roads. She talks to the captain up there, gets the weekly bulletins from Roteberg. That kind of stuff. She should be home tomorrow evening.
So they did end up roping her back in to help with the town guard.
Yeah, she's basically running things, you know. Your mother's always busy. She won't say it, but she loves the action, loves the drama. She enjoys giving
idle.
Yeah, she enjoys giving orders much more than I enjoy listening to them. So,
so you really do prefer when she does go off for a day or two.
She's happy to get out of the house, and I'm happy to get to work on my projects on my own time, my own way. Fishing's been good. I'd love to show you some little feeder streams I found over there. Some whoppers over there at Rival. Some of those back in Volks Point.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'm sure maybe tomorrow, if you don't mind, maybe we'll stay for a day or two. We're traveling, have some business up this way, and we were hoping to speak with you and Ma about maybe just see if there's anything you've heard. But we don't have to talk about it now.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. How's life treating you, sir?
Oh, well, as you can see, I have some friends. Been traveling with them, and really just fairly quiet for some time, and since last I saw you up in Bloomer Spring. But lately, we've been seeing some action. And like I said, we have some business, and trying to sort some things out for some other friends of ours.
Well, if this old man can help you, I'd be more than happy to. Lately, I ain't been doing much. Been sticking around the house, trying to keep this thing together. Started my little craft project. He kind of points down to the knife and the wood block in his hand. Trying to learn a new skill.
Yes, while Ma always loved the walking around and giving orders, you also never could quite sit idle either.
Yeah. Idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yes.
He kind of walks over to a little bench that he has next to him on the porch. He kind of points to this collection of little figurines that he's all handmade out of wood. Some of them are rougher than others, but some of them have kind of like a real refinement, a detail to them. Look kind of very time consuming and somewhat skilled. He goes to the shelf and pulls one, and it's a small red-headed girl pulling a bow that looks to be too large for her small childlike frame.
Oh, this is one of my favorites. Memories can get fuzzy when you get older, but I'm glad I can capture them while I still have the hands that work. I told you to wait, and I was going to make you your own bow, but you couldn't wait. You grabbed mine, took off to the backyard far enough you thought I couldn't hear. I watched from the house, even though you thought you were being sneaky. I watched the first arrow went about 2 feet, didn't go nowhere.
Yes, and my nose still hurts from smacking myself in the face because I let go of the bow and not the string.
Yeah, that next arrow, it didn't move. It just the string just smacked you across the face. Yeah. I was laughing. You never heard me, but I was laughing. You learned the hard way, but you never gave up. It's one of my favorites right there.
Oh, and I still can't but trust myself with a bow. Always preferred that to the sword that Ma gave me.
Yeah. I've seen you in action with that bow. You trusted just fine.
On the others have seen that most of the time I do pretty well with it. I still have some misses, sometimes, moving targets and all, but in fact, we could tell you some stories of the first day that I met them.
I
Maybe
would love
do
to
that
hear
over a pipe and a drink. And she would turn to the others. She would turn to the others if they wanted to chime in at any point and say anything, ask him anything.
Camille actually, the moment she sees Saoirse's father, she waves very happily, and then she sees the the little figures that Aiden has created with wood, and she picks one up and looks at it while listening to this whole conversation. And the moment Saoirse says that, something about not being trusted with a bow or something along those lines, she kind of looks over, like she shoots Saoirse a look, like what the what? And Camille looks at the dad. Your daughter is pulling the wool over your eyes. She's lovely with a bow. I don't know what she's talking about.
I've seen her in action. I've seen her many times in action. Saved my life more than once or twice. Well, she's very capable.
Personally,
she's just taught modesty.
Boltzmann would chime up as well. So honestly, sir, you should see her with a different sort of ranged weapon. Very impressive performance as well. A firearm, sir. Very impressive marksmanship. And also, Saoirse, are you sure you want to tell your dad a story about the first day we met? And then
I shot your contraption out of your hand. Thank you very much. So I may not have won. I may not have won that little round, but still proved myself that first day.
there's Boltzmann would have this little there's this little bit of pride that's coming out of him as he mentions about that about what happened back then. yeah, impressive indeed.
You sound like a soldier, son.
And then Boltzmann would then compose himself and forgetting that he's actually in the presence of an actual officer. Yes, sir. He would stand straight and snap a salute. Yes, sir.
Far removed from that soldiership, son. I'm at ease. Very at ease.
Boltzmann would relax. Yes, sir. I used to be part of the military as well.
I'm glad all that's behind me. Much easier days being here. Just deciding which stream I'm going to visit. Which hunting ground I need to go find. What I'm going to make out of my little trees. much easier days.
See that, sir. I can see that. Then, while Boltzmann looks around, he says that there's this hint of wistfulness in his voice. It's like this is to him, this is something that he would have wanted as well. Then, yeah, he just trails off.
Oh, yeah, quick. Yeah, have you seen? I noticed Sirsha would have been kind of looking around a bit. Bryn's not living at. Is that what I said her sister's name was?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryn isn't living at home any longer. Yeah, Bryn.
Your father would kind of sit back down, kind of take his hand, put it on his chin.
Seer, no, she's not around. I'm be honest, kind of concerned. Last time she was home, she was passing through. She told her mother that her patron had called her to Patriot. Aura, to be exact. Now, I checked in with a few friends with ears still in that direction. They are telling me it is difficult to hear. Aura has fallen. The entire city now a ghost town. The city's center controlled by corrupted creatures and an undead army. All led by some unknown, unnamed force. Patrium's always been an issue here, but something shifted. The intensity has risen. Problems aren't just on that side of the border. Whatever's gonna happen, it seems big. Apparently your mother and I got out of the service just in time because the royal court canceled all retirements. Lowered some of the entry requirements to infantry and vanguard. Past year, our army has been slowly building along the border. Skeleton crews along the King's Highway. All active posts have been reduced, with all available swords either being sent or scheduled to be sent in the next 6 months. Public is blind to the whole thing. Hummelstein was told it was a cost-cutting measure, but they had a post here for 200 years, cancelled. All reserves being sent to Roper, training. I assumed to the border after that. I had a buddy in Bloomer Spring tell me that he heard that they were talking about recalling all the trained reserves and even the retired personnel. Never once has that happened.
So it sounds like war is brewing. What Bryn's patron? She was serving some noble family, or are we talking?
I do not believe so. She was fuzzy with me. Maybe her mother knows more, but
Okay.
with me, that's all I know.
And no idea why she went.
She felt called. I believe it had something to do with, I don't know. She just felt. You get that pit in your stomach every once in a while. I felt it. Wasn't a good thing.
She always was. Sirsha would crack a smile. We were always quite willful children. She is a hard worker, so no doubt that's what she's. Just, I can understand if she felt called. I would love to know more.
Yeah, well, I don't want to bother y'all with all these gory details, worrisome details. Let me get something on the stove for y'all to get some supper on, and we can have a little bit more joyous conversation. And he kind of steps up and goes towards the kitchen and starts preparing.
Bran would offer to help out in the kitchen if possible.
Yeah, definitely would be willing for some assistance. So you guys prepare something and are able to have a meal with him and kind of talk about more enjoyable things. Maybe some of the history behind her and of Saoirse and her and the memories like they had already shared. You guys are sitting around the table a little bit after dinner. Saoirse, I suppose you bring out your pipe.
Oh yeah, she would.
Yeah, and he would definitely join you on doing that. Anything else that you guys want from him?
Yeah, I think at this point, Saoirse would just be sitting quietly. So if the others wanted,
Actually, while they're eating their dinner, Camiel is still holding on to that little wooden figure that she saw Aiden make, and she's just holding it up. She's playing with it a little bit like a child, making her little sound effects by the table. And she looks up at Saoirse's dad and holds up the figure. And, can you teach me?
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just, here's what I do.
And he looks down, and next to his on his porch, he has basically a large basket with sticks of all varying sizes. And he reaches in and kind of goes through and pulls out one of the sticks.
He said, what you do is you just have to look at it. And you have to listen to it. And it'll tell you what creature's already in there. You can add to it. You can play with it. You make it your own, but you gotta listen to the wood first. It'll tell you what it wants to be. And then you just remove everything that isn't.
Oh, you make it sound so easy.
Well, nobody taught me. I just did this myself, so I may be in the wrong direction completely, but I like what I did. I like what I did.
Well,
here, go ahead, use this right here. And he gives you a block, and he gives you he's got a large kind of Bowie knife that he uses, and he goes, you put your thumb right there, and you just kind of work it around, pull out what's not supposed to be there.
Work it around, pull out what's not supposed to be there. Okay. And she's just looking at it at first, and then she's slowly chipping away. And the first slice of the wood is so thick, and she just goes, "Oh,
that's all right. That wasn't supposed to be there. If it's not there now, it wasn't supposed to be there to begin with. Just keep going."
Oh, okay.
Just make sure you don't hit your thumb. Remember, away from the body.
Okay. Well, I'm armored, so I'm fine. All right, and she continuously chips away at it. At this point, it's going to be an ant. Maybe there's an ant in here.
Worst comes to worst, what you've done is made kindling.
Camille looks up at him. Made what?
Kindling. You know, the little wood you put on the big wood to get the fire started up.
Oh, I see. And embarrassed, she grins. And she slowly looks back at the wood, and she is attempting to create perhaps a beetle, and it looks fucked up.
roll a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Roll a sleight of hand.
Let's see. Sleight of the hand. Oh, jeez. Okay. It looks fucked up.
Let me guess. It's that hill right over there. I see what that is. You tried to make that little hill, trying to remind you of our place there.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. You're right.
Oh, see? You're natural.
Yes, every part of me is organic indeed.
Seeing all of this, Boltzmann would shyly approach Aiden and ask him, sir, may I also, and he gestures towards the wood as well. Can I also, try this out?
Yeah, it's good for de-stressing. You look like you got a lot of stress. Have a seat there and you just wither your little heart out.
Apparently, because Boltzmann is actually proficient in wood cutting tools. Yeah.
Wood carver tools.
Wood carving tools, yeah.
Yep.
To him, it's like he would.
And you have a +1 all tools, so you can roll your little if you want to try to do it. What are you trying to make?
I'll try making a small, a small rowboat, I guess.
Okay.
And it is an 18 +1, so that's a 19. Boltzmann would, whoever would be looking would first see Boltzmann as taking small unsure cuts, but then eventually, as he goes on, he builds confidence in each of his each of his cuts, and eventually it forms into something now resembling a small rowboat. He's adding a few details on the side.
I think we got a ringer here. You've been working with wood for a long time now, haven't you, son?
Just a skill that I eventually took up. It's a requirement.
Very nice. You're making me look bad, son.
No.
He's making me look bad. Look at my mouth.
That's a beautiful hill you got there. Beautiful.
You're doing great, Camille.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go show Brad.
Well, as Boltzmann looks at his completed work, he smiles. Just like what she would have wanted. Thank you, sir. For
Anytime. You are welcome on my front porch, Woodland, anytime that you want to. It's a great way to unravel one's mind.
Boltzmann just nods. Thank you, sir. It means a lot.
Camiel would happily run over to Bran. She's looking around at first, and she doesn't see him, and then she sees his salt and pepper hair by the window, and he's sitting. I'm thinking he's sitting at the front porch. And she runs over to him and then holds up the the fucked up wood. Don't take that out of context. And she's like, "Look, I made a thing."
Yeah, you find Bran. He is on the front porch. He kind of slipped out of the situation once dinner was served and properly prepared. He kind of slipped out of the house with Addie, and he sat down on the front porch, plopped Addie down on his lap, and he's just kind of stroking her feathers, and he's just kind of taking it all in. The log cabin, the forest surrounding it, and he's kind of lost in his own thoughts at the idea of this sort of life. Until Camille approaches him with something.
Yeah, and she's standing there with a very proud pose. You know, her legs are parted, and she's got her hand extended, holding that wood, and the other hand is it's waving over the wooden thing. I made a thing.
That's a nice egg.
No, but I guess it can be an egg if you want it to be.
Did I say egg? I meant to say excellent.
Ah, thank you! Thank you. I think
Excellent wooden thing there.
Well, not, at least you didn't say it's a hill. I think it's worse that you called it an egg. She looks at the wood. Oh.
I'd consider it abstract. It's to the user's own interpretation. One could see a mountain, another could see a hill. I see an egg.
Well, you should have seen Boltzmann. He made a little rope. He was very good at it. Made me feel awful. Look at what I made.
Boltzmann makes guns. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I don't think wood carving is for me.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Are you
Not everyone is talented at the first attempt.
I thought you were deliberately hurting my feelings.
Absolutely not, Cameo.
What are you doing out here?
Well, I was planning on giving Addie a bit of a walk, but
Well, you're not walking, you're sitting.
I thought we'd take a rest first.
No.
As you guys are talking, Addie sees something moving in the kind of dark underbrush. It's a lot of tall grass around the hills, around the area that they're in. And she sees something move, and you can see her eyes just kind of focus on something, and then all of a sudden she just kind of stands up and leaps all in one movement out into the underbrush, and jumps off the front porch.
You've lost your tile.
Addie, the brand kind of like fumbles down the porch stairs, and he's trying his best to keep up with Addie. Or at least try to identify. Mm-hmm.
She's gotten probably about 50 or 60 feet away from the front porch before you see her kind of tropping back proudly with a very large rodent in her beak.
Oh.
What you got there, Addie? Can Brand see what Addie has caught?
Yep.
Exactly?
Yep. It's a very large rodent, probably about almost a foot long from tip to some nose to into the tail. She's got it about right on the backside, clipped in. One of her beak is right there, clipped on the back end, and it's kind of squirreling and squealing a little bit in her mouth as she kind of proudly stands up straight and kind of proudly walks back to the front porch.
Oh my god.
Well,
that's
well, I guess she's too big for sausages now.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
I think she's acquired a bit of a different taste, Cameo.
But she's so cute though. Look at her, she's so proud, all puffed chest and everything. With blood running down her little feathers. Isn't that adorable?
It's a redeeming quality, I agree.
You see her kind of throw her head back, and the mouse, the rat, kind of gets a little bit of air and distance before she snatches it again and kind of crunches it, kind of consumes the rat.
She's a magician.
Dare I say better than most.
Look at her, oh my goodness. She's a true magician. Are you still gonna go for that walk?
I don't know if it's necessary anymore.
Well, there are dishes to be done. Would you come over and help?
Of course.
Right. Oh, would you like this egg? And she offers it to him.
A smile would appear on Brand's face, and he would take the egg gently from Camiel and kind of hold it close before placing it snugly on his little belt that he's got wrapped around his waist.
Aw, Cameo.
I'll treasure the egg, Cameo.
Like you said, it's excellent. And yeah. Yeah, they'll walk back in. Cameo will give Addie a little pat on her little head, very proud, and walk back in and help with the dishes that need to be done.
As you kind of call, as you call Addie back in, she begins walking towards you, back towards the front porch and back towards the inside of the house, and she stops for a second, kind of twists her head almost good 3/4 of the way around, listening. Her ears kind of perk up a little bit, searches the other way, another 3/4 of her head around, and then back to center, and then back into the house.
Does Bran see this?
Mm-hmm.
You see another one, girl?
She just ends up at your feet.
Does she still seem distracted, or does she still seem to be fixated outside?
No, it looks like she was just checking.
Okay.
Less hearing something and more just listening to see if she could.
Oh, okay. And to that, I guess, yeah, Bran will just kind of reach underneath the table or wherever she is currently at his feet and just kind of give her feathers a bit of a rustle. Making sure that there's no little blood droplets on her.
As the others kind of as Kemiel and Branimir are out, kind of busied himself with the boat. I'm not sure what Dante's doing, but he's around there somewhere.
He's off in the corner somewhere, just drinking from a flask that he's procured from somewhere, and writing in his little book.
Aiden would see you with your flask, and then he would disappear for a moment into the house, deeper into the house. Actually, would come up from a cellar with a small, almost like a tin cup, full of very clear liquid, and would pass it over to you. Said, "That's the homemade stuff right there. I guarantee it's a little bit stronger than whatever you got in that little flask of yours."
Oh, this is just to tide me by. I do appreciate your offer here. And he'll sort of cheers Aiden and have a little sniff and then just down the whole thing.
Yeah, it smells like nail polish remover.
Lovely.
But you're able to consume it.
It just sort of coughs a little
very
bit.
Strong. Very strong, freshly made moonshine.
That is remarkable. And that's all I would say there.
Giving you your space, he would kind of go back over to Saoirse.
Smells like you refined the recipe.
Always working on something. Always have my projects. What's this business you into, Saoirse?
Boltzmann here has had some of his own more intimate information regarding some of it, but it seems, I don't know how much we want to share now, since Mom might know some more from her end. But suffice to say that there are forces at play which seek world domination, and somehow I've gotten mixed up in it, and now we're trying to stop them. There's a being called the Shadow Queen. Sounds like maybe what's going on in Patrium is connected to her. We were brought before a council, which involved members of the Amen court who were subsequently died there. I'm sure you heard about what happened.
Supreme Commander.
Yes. One thing we were curious about was whether or not you and Ma had heard anything from some of your old contacts. If we have our suspicions that members of the court, no idea who, but perhaps members of the Amen court might be involved with the Shadow Queen.
I've heard the name, the Shadow Queen. Never anything big. But it's always been floated around. Almost in service to the Raven, but sometimes not. As far as Akbar goes, I heard that it was a mercenary took him out. Are you saying it was something else?
Yes. This council was attacked by shadowy creatures and the Shadow Queen at the behest of, and I believe she was somehow present there at the attack. We were able to flee in time. But it seems like, at least to our knowledge, Supreme Commander Akba did not make it out. He was actually killed by the Shadow Queen and her forces.
Who is this council you speak of?
What was it called again? Because I don't have my notes.
Brotherhood of the Suns.
Yeah, Boltzmann
Yeah.
would pipe
Yes.
up the
Yeah,
Brotherhood
thank
of
you.
the Sun. So
Yeah.
Can't say I heard of them. Other than the wanted poster I saw with the there was somebody that was charged. That's who I thought it was. Said they killed the Supreme Commander was the little fella. What was his name?
That's
Yeah.
the chief cleric of the Uplifter.
Yeah. He was the one that was on the posters. I saw the poster. You don't see too many with such a big reward, but then again, you don't see many Supreme Commanders getting picked off.
Yes. Well, you see, Notri is actually the one who helped us escape. And he escaped with us, and we tried to rescue the Supreme Commander, but the Supreme Commander couldn't reach us in time.
Sorry.
Having a little bit of your own moonshine.
Yeah, I took a big swig there. I took a little bit too big of a swig. Kind of caught me by the boo-boo there.
Yeah. Put some hair on your chest. No.
Yeah, I got plenty of that. But yeah, that's very interesting. I can ask. I definitely have people that I know I can trust. People that will keep any conversations only between them and I.
That's good.
Yeah, let me try to talk to them.
Yeah. And perhaps Ma, when she returns, she'll have heard something from the captain. Maybe some further news. As I said, I'm suspecting that I wouldn't be surprised if there's some connection between all of this and what's going on in Patrium now. And the build-up of the armies on the border.
And somehow, my two daughters, right here on the edge of it all. Very interested indeed.
Hopefully on the same side.
Exactly my thought.
Well, we can discuss this more tomorrow when Ma returns, and perhaps when you've had a chance to speak with. Are they here in Hummelstein? The friends you can speak to?
No, I got a couple friends I got a friend in Bloomer Spring, and a few more little places here and there.
As far as Bloomer Spring, we actually had some business there, and may have some further business that we have to return to. There's a question of whether or not anyone is left in Bloomer Spring.
Anyone left in Bloomer Spring? What you mean by that?
This is the part that Boltzmann knows quite intimately. And Saoirse would turn to Boltzmann to share, if he wants to share anything about the Illithids.
Alright. So if I may ask, when was the last time you've heard news about Bloomer Spring?
I get correspondence here and there. Probably about a month ago, I got a letter from my friend.
Well, alright. Troubling things, sir, since our last visit there. One was that there was a spider infestation in the mine there, and we had to clear that out. And Boltzmann pauses and takes a deep breath. And after that, well, here's the thing, sir. On our stay there, we met a strange merchant, an alchemist of sorts. He was giving potions, and he was selling potions. He claims that the potions could help people see better in the dark. But then what it actually did, the potion, was that it did something to whomever used it. And as far as we know, a lot of people, mostly miners, bought the said potion. We're afraid, sir, that those people might have been afflicted with whatever that potion had. Boltzmann would just say whatever poison it had in it.
Well, only quicker way I know is I could, unless we get somebody else involved, somebody with some magic involved, I could get a message to someone, but unless I had that, I could make a trip up there, find out.
Wait one moment, sir. Magic.
Brand's ring.
Wait a moment. And then, as you say that, Boltzmann nods, and he goes into the house and looks for Bran.
Bran is washing the dishes.
Bran? Bran, do you have your ring with you? The message ring. We need it.
It's on the table.
Thank you. And Boltzmann would go over. Where is it? Where is it exactly? Then he would have left the room. Then he goes back. Wait, where exactly? At which table exactly?
Why don't you go ahead and help him out? I can handle the dishes for now, but you better come back.
It doesn't work without attuning to it anyway. So Bran would kind of shake off the water droplets from his hands and go over to the table where he left the ring, and he will put it back on. What do we need it for, Bolts?
Search's father. Something about Bloomer Spring. Come on, then. Then Boltzmann.
Bran kind of nods and kind of waiting for Boltzmann to continue.
Oh yeah, and
You kind of left it half unfinished there, Bolts.
something about Bloomer Spring. Just get over here. I was about. And Boltzmann's once again, Boltzmann's words and mind are not up to sync. Just follow me. Just follow me.
Bran just kind of sighs and exits the room before Boltzmann can
Yeah, and yeah, we're back to where Aiden is.
So you have ability to send a message.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. What do you? He kind of gives you a little bit of a description of the person. The name of the captain. His name is Jorgen Meyer. And he gives you the description of the captain and says that if you can give him a message, basically telling him, asking if there's been any kind of sickness or missing persons or anything of the sort, that this is a message from Aiden. What's the last name of Aiden?
Lorelia,
yeah. Captain. No, he wouldn't call himself Captain. He would just call himself Aiden. From a message from Aiden to Captain Jorgen Meyer, asking if there's been any issues with missing persons or sickness in town recently.
All right. And Bran would nod as he relayed the message to Jorgen Meyer. To the letter.
And you would hear back. Actually, you would not hear a response. There's a long pause, and typically you would hear a voice of response in some ways, but at this point you do not hear anything.
A bit of a slight frown appears on Bran's face as he turns to face I believe the three that are gathered outside, and he kind of shakes his head. I'm not getting a response.
shit, that's not good.
Captain Myers, careful, man. There's a possibility that he's purposely not responding. Annoying you, that is.
Probably, Bran. You could let Sir Aiden here attune to the ring. We can try again tomorrow.
Well, if you feel like that's best, Boltzmann.
It'd be one way to make sure if he hears Da's voice, then
It's possible.
if he's able to even hear your voice, of course. As we said, we
Yeah,
don't
and
know
usually
how
with-
many of these potions were sold in Bloomer Spring, but our information says there could be 40. That there are 40 people who have been infected. He may be one of them.
Struggling.
You see this Aiden's face has been kind of light and carefree most of the time that you've been there, and specifically almost forced because of the kind of disposition that you guys were in coming in, and seeing knowing of the worries of the road and the worries of that lifestyle, and him not having those anymore, knowing that he needed to be able to distract you guys. You see his face turn for one of the first times in the day that you've met him, and kind of worry a little bit kind of creeps upon his face. He kind of sits down, gets one of his the cup of moonshine that he had brought for Dante, and has another cup of it next to him. Kind of takes that and chugs it down.
Yeah, if I could speak with him tomorrow, that'd be best. People tell me I do have a distinct voice.
Well, it's all those years of moonshine have.
It's smooth, but it does rough you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys are able to finish your evening. Yep, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Bran would remove his ring of sending and allow Aiden to attune to the ring.
Okay.
He's like, don't trust all this magical fancy stuff, but I guess it's important, so we'll definitely
Once
give it a
upon a
shot.
time, I didn't either, sir.
I can tell you're just as much as a soldier as he was. Yeah. Alright. Well, if y'all excuse me, I'm gonna go hit the hay. I'll see y'all in the morning.
Yep. We'll see you in the morning. Probably head to bed soon myself.
Make yourself comfortable. Mother's got a cabinet down the end of the hallway, blankets and things if you need it.
He'll retire to his room. And you guys are left with the evening to yourselves, being able to rest again. And that is where we will call it this evening.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
We're going to war, friends.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that armor isn't just like not doing anything. So.
Yeah.
No. And you all met the one half of Saoirse's, or well, 1/3 of Saoirse's family.
Can't wait to meet the others.
Yeah. It's a good lot of information this week. No battles, but lots of information. So
Yeah.
we want to thank all of our followers and supporters this week and every week for being here and being part of our show. Thank you again to Electrodon for your follow this evening. We appreciate it very, very much. One last thing before we do go, I want to take a moment and shout out our players. In the info blocks below, you will see some links. Go check out these wonderful people out. Some of them have links to their Twitter accounts. Throwaway Doodles, Ellen, who plays Boltzmann. RPG Theologian, who is Rob, who plays Saoirse. Relentless Hunter, Aaron, who plays Branimir, who And then we have some streamers here on Twitch like Thumper Knox, who is Ryan, who plays Dante, and Yumi Sagara Tony, who plays Camiel. They stream right here on Twitch on a regular basis, so go and drop them a follow as well as a sub. I'm somewhere in the middle, and I'm known as Monocled Moose on all platforms, including, yes, MySpace. That is a truthful statement this week. MySpace. Monocled.moose. Monocled.moose on MySpace.
You know,
Stop.
I'm gonna make a MySpace account just to follow you.
MySpace is not a thing anymore.
Is it?
It's a
No.
thing.
It's for
I made an
musos.
account this
It's for
week.
musos.
I know.
Wait. Oh
I
my
couldn't
god.
follow
it's still
Tom.
there?
It's still there. I made
yeah,
an
it's-
account. I added the account this week. That was the whole shtick. But last week I said I had, but I hadn't. So this
Oh my
week
god.
I did.
Alright.
I rectified
All
it.
right. I'm making a MySpace now.
Again, I couldn't
Had to
figure
make
out what
an
to do with
honest
it.
DM
but
out of him.
it's there. Yeah.
Tribus should have a MySpace account.
Please,
Be
please
the
go to the info blocks below. Click the link. Say hi to us there. Again, thank you for the follows and subs this week on this channel as well. If you missed any part of this episode, the VOD will be immediately available on Twitch, but they won't stay there forever. If you want to catch up with any of our previous episodes on the campaign, the link to our YouTube is below. Search Black Dragon RP and look for our big dragon eye logo. We'll be making a few videos based on our Sunday community games, as well as we've been doing our 7 Days to Die, and those will be coming out bits and pieces when we have available resources to put those together. I think that wraps this episode up from us. Thank you very much for being here. We will see you here again next week. Same time, same Twitch channel. We love you very much. Thank you, and good night.
We love
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.